Howdy, I'm Ed Parrott. We're back here to take another look at Photoshop Generative Fill to see if it still sucks. One area where Generative Fill really shines is in filling in missing areas on a photo or extending a photo for a wider view. So let's take a look at this young woman here, and we'd like to have more of a panoramic view of the street behind her and also fill in her straw hat and just extend it a little bit all the way around. So we'll start by selecting all the void areas in the picture and then select Generative Fill, and we'll generate without giving it any specific instructions to see what we get. Now look at that. So somehow the generated images violated community guidelines, and I didn't give it any specific instructions at all. So that just doesn't make any sense. So let's try to fill it in one little section at a time. So we'll start with the right side over here. And again, we won't give it any specific instructions. And that filled out okay. And it's got the same depth of field, looking good. So no problem there. Let's try the bottom portion. So I'm violating community guidelines by doing nothing. Let's try the left side, see what it does. Again, no specific instructions, just let it fill in. And that looks good. Again, good depth of field, the whole ball of wax. Let's try to fill in her hat. So again, I don't know what the problem is. You know, it's hard for me to tell. I can't really judge. Maybe the young woman's a teenager and it doesn't like that for some reason. But, you know, how would the artificial intelligence know she's a teenager? And I don't really think she's a teenager anyway. She looks like she's in her early 20s to me. But again, it makes no sense that it wouldn't fill in the bottom portion. All we were trying to do was extend her dress and her handbag and the street scene. So somehow that violated community guidelines. So this is definitely weird. Let's see if we can fill in this little section up here without getting her in the picture at all. And again, community guidelines. So this is an area that they need to take a look at because I can't see anything that would be wrong with filling that in. So really, I can't imagine that the problem here has anything to do with the fact that it's a young woman in the photograph. So I think we're just going to have to strike this one up to Generative Fill sucks. And here I thought this was going to be one of the shining examples where it did good. So that first attempt definitely turned out to be Generative Fill sucks, for the most part. But let's take another look at a different photo. Let's go to this mountain valley here, and let's make it into a panoramic view. So first thing we'll do is get rid of our 16:9 aspect ratio because I want to make it wider but not taller. And then we'll just use the crop tool to stretch it out horizontally but not vertically. So now let's see if we can make a nice little panorama with this. So we'll go ahead and select the left side here and do our fill. And again, no specific instructions. And that looks good. And let's take a look. That looks even better. And that's okay. I think number 2 there is the winner. So that's what we'll stay with. And now let's select the other side and do our fill on it. So again, no specific instructions. And that's good. Not so good. Pretty good. I like that. I think that's our winner right there. Now this photo is something we might see in a home decorating or a fashion magazine, something of that nature. And let's see what we might want to do with it. So the first thing I think is the countertop is pretty cluttered here. So let's clear out that mess. And to do that, we're going to select everything in this area. But we're going to try to keep these two soap dispensers because they belong there. So we'll just use our lasso tool and mark around everything. And when we get over here, we'll come down and keep the two soap dispensers out of our selection, but we'll get that plate and get rid of it. And now let's generate and see what we get. So we'll just type in remove items. And it did a good job. And also, let's zoom in here a little bit. The soap dispensers both look good. This is really great. I'm very impressed with that, so I'm happy. Weird thing is, it added this little dish over here, which appears to be for storing various items. So I'm not really sure why that popped in there. But I don't think we need it, so let's select it and get rid of it. So fill and remove item and generate. There we go, got rid of it. I'm happy. So let's say we want a little more elegant look in our magazine photo. So let's give the young lady a nice skirt to wear instead of those cut-off jeans. And we'll make our selection where a skirt would be, and then select generate. And we're going to tell it that we'd like a nice little blue and white checked skirt. And that one looks good. So let's take a look at the other two selections it came up with. And nah, not so much. That one's okay. I like that one better. That's what we're going to stay with. So while we're adding things to photos, let's have a little experiment. Let's go right in here and select a little area, and let's add a dog. My favorite dog is a Yorkshire Terrier, so that's what we're going to start with. Looking good. Check out the other one. That was a little big for a Yorkie. That was okay. I think I like that one better, so we're going to stay with that. Now let's try something a little more challenging. Let's put a German Shepherd on the stairs and see how that comes out. Well, that's unexpected. So let's see what else we got. Yeah, that's weird. But, that was pretty challenging, as I said, and I don't really know that I was expecting them to be able to do much with that. So I can't really criticize. So let's remove that one and give it another try here. This time we'll draw about the same outline, but we'll give it a little more specific instructions. We'll say we want the German Shepherd to be climbing the stairs and see what it comes up with on that. Well, not exactly climbing the stairs, but he looks happy. Yeah, that one's strange. Yeah, that was just too much to give the program to do. So I can't really, like I say, criticize this outcome here. Now for full disclosure, I'll say that I know pretty much how this one's going to come out because I have done it before. This is me showing a house to one of my friends, and I took this picture just especially to test how well it could erase people out of a mirror. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of the big fat real estate agent. Although I have to say I'm down to 170 pounds now, and when that photo was taken I was about 220. But I still got about another 20 pounds to go. But in any case, let's see what it does with removing me from the picture. Not bad at all. Not bad. So let's take a look. Number 2, not quite as good. Third one looks good. And I think probably the first one is best, so we'll stick with that. And next thing to do is get my friend out of the picture. So we'll mark him in there. And same thing, generative fill without any instructions. And he's gone. The first one left a little artifact around the door there, so let's see what else we got. That one looks much better. And yeah, let's look again. I think number 3, yep, number 3 there, that looks good. So that's the winner out of that section. Now, if you got a sharp eye, you'll notice a reflection of my friend in the shower glass there. So let's take care of that little problem. We'll outline him again and generate without any instructions. And he's gone. And let's look at the other two. No, that's okay. And the third one, let's take a look at it. That, I think, is best. Yep. Number 3 is the winner, so there we go. So the main point is it got rid of his reflection in both panes of glass, so this is just outstanding, and Photoshop has done a great job here. And finally, this photo here, I needed a thumbnail for a short that I published on YouTube. So the first thing I did was change it from a horizontal format to a vertical format, and then stretched it out a little bit and positioned it where I wanted it. Then we did a generative fill at the bottom to fill out the sand, and that came out good, so we're happy. So now we'll select the sky and do our fill on it. And there you have it. So it came out looking very good, and I was happy, and I saved it out, and then I discovered that YouTube doesn't allow us to change the thumbnail on shorts. But it was still fun doing the Photoshop. So I wanted to close out with 3 photos. The first one there is my original headshot photo, except it's more than a headshot. And I made the thumbnail out of the photo using generative fill. In the second one there, I really like what it was able to do with my left hand. The third one is okay, but you know, it could use a little improvement. But I just thought you'd find those interesting. So while I've been having a little fun at Adobe's expense, Photoshop Generative Fill may suck in certain respects, but all in all, it's a really great tool with a lot of capability, and I look forward to seeing what else they're able to do with it in the future. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, click like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.